than a great price and great selection to continue to grow every year. We believe the reason is our core values. Hard work, we work hard for you. Integrity, it's not optional, it's required. We build trusting relationships and don't run when the problems arise. We're always improving the customer experience. It's been the Schottenkirk way for over 50 years. Schottenkirk Chevrolet, Waukee, and the all-new Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us. Or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we got it all.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules. They're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health. Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
It's time now for Waukee High School football on the Central Iowa Sports Network. CISN.TV is Iowa's premier source for live-streamed high school football. The football on CISN.TV is brought to you by Atlantic Bottlers, Schottenkirk Chevrolet, Shields, the Better Business Bureau, G&L Clothing. Now let's go to our CISN.TV team for Waukee Warrior football.
Good evening and welcome to Waukee Stadium. Dar Danielson with you here tonight alongside Joe Danielson. It's August, but it's the start of the high school football season as we get underway tonight. Top-ranked, five-time defending champion Dowling Catholic comes in to take on number 9 Waukee. And Joe, both these teams have had to reload a little bit with the graduation losses, and tonight it's going to be see who has done the best job of that, I think.
Yeah, both Dowling and Waukee have a lot of roster turnover, and when you're looking at Dowling, two quarterbacks that only attempted like four to six passes each last year. Look to see a heavy dose of running back Jason Murray, who's now a senior.
But for Waukee, we have a quarterback who came into his own last year, took over that starting spot, and led them down the road to a great season.
Yeah, Mitch Randall, he's a junior, 19 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions last year, and also added about 800 yards on the ground. He'll lead the offense there with senior running back Blake Espelin, who had a bit of an injury-riddled season last year, and he's looking to bounce back for the senior season.
Well, we talked with the two coaches tonight, and first we'll talk with Tom Wilson, head coach of Dowling. He'll talk about that two-quarterback system and how they're preparing to get 6 in a row here. Let's give a listen to head coach Tom Wilson for Dowling.
Well, Coach, as we get ready for the start of the season, how are your preparations for the opening ball game gone?
Well, it's gone fairly well. I think most coaches would tell you that at this point. I think we're kind of by the day, sometimes by the period. But we've got some new faces in on defense, so it's been good to see that come together. So, like most teams, we're cautiously optimistic of what's to come.
New faces in defense. Also, new quarterback, your top receiver graduated, but you still have a running back there. So missing some parts of the offense from last year, but has some parts back. What do you see as the key in developing your offense this year?
Well, the great thing about offensively is 4 of the 5 offensive linemen are back. Now, the downside of that is the guy that probably graded out the best throughout the course of the entire year was Mitch Goff, and he graduated. So we've got some pieces back at the line of scrimmage that we're pretty excited about. And then, as you mentioned, we've got Murray back, who is a tremendous player for us. And, you know, breaking in a new quarterback is really nothing new. I think our last multiple-year starter was Ryan Boyle, and that's been a while ago now. And he was the first one that I'd had for a while. So that's kind of new, and so is the wide receiver for position. So I'm not sure that we have a Sam Ngoli or anybody that's a go-to person for us, especially this time of year, but we've got some kids that we feel that can play some pretty good football, at least at those positions.
How important is it having that, experienced line with a new quarterback? He kind of feels a little better back there, doesn't he?
Well, you should, and we're probably going to play 2 on Friday night. Zach Waters and Zach Prey are both seniors that have been in the program, and they've been neck and neck throughout the course of our off-season work, and we just want to see what they do in game situations. We'll see how it rolls out. I'm not sure it's all going to be equal, but Waters and Prey should both play.
Yeah, you've done that before, and there's a lot of people say if you got 2 quarterbacks, you got none. But that's worked for you before, hasn't it?
It has, and it's more about how the kids handle it, and sometimes the parents, to be honest with you, is that we have to put things aside and realize that we're trying to do what is best for the good of the team. And if we made a choice right this minute, honestly, I'm not sure I could look one of them in the eye and say one guy deserves it that much more than what the other one does. So at some point in time, you just let things play out, and I'm not sure I ever go into a year thinking, okay, we're going to play 2 guys at this one position. Obviously, it being the quarterback position, it gets noticed a little bit more, but we've played 2 guys at positions many, many times. It's just that quarterback is a little bit different animal.
Back to that defense, what do you see as the strength of it there for the defense as you look to start the season here?
Well, really, the 2 guys that played a ton of defense a year ago were Max Bay, one of our defensive ends, as well as Jack Keogh as an inside linebacker. And we're going to lean on those 2 guys, especially early. Keogh was beside Mitch Riggs a year ago, and Mitch was an all-state player and is now at the University of Iowa. So he did a lot of great things for us and started for 2 years, and Jack's going to have to elevate his game to a higher level, which we think he can do. But we feel like Levi Hummel in there beside him at linebacker will be a definite asset as well. He started at fullback a year ago, and we've just kind of moved him to the defensive side, and the rest of the guys are people that have really waited their turn. We're only going to play 2 juniors on the defensive side, so it's still going to be a senior-dominated defense.
I can't leave without asking you 5 in a row here, and how do you address that? I know there's a tradition there, but do you talk about that, or what? You're starting over here with the new season, but how do you address that, or do you address that, or how do you handle it?
Honestly, we really don't talk about it that much. We focus on today, and it's as cliche as that may seem. That's really has been our mindset throughout all of this. Is you can't let the future get in the way of what you want to get done right now. And if we don't get the things done right now that we need to, that future changes quite a bit. So we really just focus on getting better day in and day out, and each opponent is a little bit different. So we've got some things to change there and in order to maximize our chances of being successful. But it's not something that we talk about. Obviously, we hear it. Everybody else talks about it, but we try to get tunnel vision with our kids.
Opening game, you don't, you know teams and what they've done in the past, but like you, they're filling in new players, plugging in new holes of people who graduated and things like that. And so what do you expect out of Waukee, and how do you go about that in this first game of the season when you don't have any tape or anything to watch on them?
You're right. It's a little bit unique and a challenge each and every year, and you don't know who's changing what, which can be different. But we do know Waukee has a returning starter at quarterback. that we think was a good player a year ago, just as a sophomore, and now he's a junior, and I'm sure he'll be that much better. I think they're going to have good skill people. They'll have, I think, all of their offensive line they have to replace except for maybe one. And so it's going to be interesting to see what those guys look like, but I know they do have some skill. On the defensive side, again, they're going to be replacing some guys. I know that one of their linebackers back, at least one guy that they had in the secondary who is a two-way starter, the Eaton kid, should be back. So Waukee always has talent. There's never a question about that, and usually do a pretty good job up front. So it's a good opening game challenge for us.
All right, Coach Tom Wilson, thanks a lot, and good luck tonight.
Welcome back to the press box as we get ready for tonight's matchup. Number 1, Dowling taking on number 9, Waukee. Dar Danielson, Joe Danielson. You heard there from Dowling head coach Tom Wilson. Now we'll hear from Scott Carlson, the head coach of the Waukee Warriors.
Waukee coach Scott Carlson with me now. And, Coach, how have things gone as you get ready for this season opener?
Yeah, by and large, it's gone pretty well. Dating back to summer, and this is the time of year when I think every coach would tell you that it's just time to play a game because you've seen each other. Teams have gone against each other the whole time, and you've been learning all these things. You've been trying to perfect these things, and ultimately you just need to go out and find out, okay, where are we at the moment? What do we need to get better at? And, let's get this thing going, right? And that's kind of where we are right now, as I presume just about everybody else is in that same boat.
Where did you see the need for the biggest, work as you came in to the fall, getting ready practices to start for your opener?
Well, I think for us right now, it's a matter of development of not only depth, but just, that front line on both sides of the ball. We got left with a lot of holes, again, as a lot of people do. And so we've been trying to work really hard to refine the personnel there, try to determine what are our best fits. And, I think, the game, no matter how much, the spread game comes into question these days, the game is won in the line. And we've been working hard, on both sides of that to try to get our, shore up the guys in front because there's just not a lot of experience there. There's some good talent, but there's a significant amount of inexperience. And so that's been kind of our biggest focal point, I would say, up to this point.
One thing, you have an experienced quarterback coming back on your offensive side, so that's got to make you feel good, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And anybody would tell you the luxury of having a quarterback return, as a returning starter is always a great one. And for us, it's doubly great. Mitch is, of course, Mitch Randall will be our starter. Started every game for us as a sophomore last year and had a very solid, first varsity campaign as a sophomore. Mitch has continued to, refine his skills and build some things into his, capabilities as a quarterback that he maybe didn't have last year. And he's a really good student of the game, a tough-minded kid and a hard-working kid. And, it's always great to have that, experience at that position. There's no doubt about that.
You guys start out with a tough one, but yeah, you've done that, seems like, for years, either Valley or, you always seem to come out of the gate that first game where you're playing, a really solid team, and this year's no different with the five-time defending state champion, is it?
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. It's been like that for, as you said, it's been like that for years for us. If it's not Valley, it's Dowling, and, we're going to see those guys every year. That's just kind of the nature of the beast, living where we live and being in proximity to them. We're going to have that game. So it's, it's kind of a daunting task. It's the toughest game of, on a lot of people's schedule. There's no doubt about that when you have a five-time defending state champ and, by anybody's, standard, I think that people are having an expectation today of an awfully good chance of going a sixth consecutive state title. So, you try not to focus on that part of it too much. You try to focus on your own team and what you can do to get better. And then you start looking at the matchups a little bit. First game of the year, that's always tough anyway because you don't know exactly personnel-wise what each team has.
Well, you mentioned your line, and I think that's been one of the hallmarks of Dowling is that big line offensively and defensively and grinding people down, and that's kind of the thing you got to work against, isn't it, is them wearing you down over the game?
No doubt about it, and it was that way last year, and, they returned, most of their offensive line is returned intact, so that's going to be a huge part of, anything that we do on Friday night. If you're going to be successful, you're going to have to find a way to rotate some people in, I think, to keep them a little bit more fresh because, size-wise, they're just the biggest. I got to believe they're the biggest offensive line in the state across the board, and they're a very talented group.
And one of the things that, for any team, this first game of the year is, as you say, you got those new people in there, and I think adjustments is probably one of the keys, isn't it? And this, how well you adjust either at halftime or during the game with the new players, and you see how they're fitting in that, and that's got to be a big key too, isn't it?
No question, and again with the level of youth that we do have playing, it's concerning in the first game because again you just don't know what you have, and we're going to know pretty quickly what we have. But anytime you can kind of go with the ebb and flow of the game, adjust and adapt, and hopefully you're in a position where you don't get in a bad spot as far as having to do things that are not in your comfort zone. Where you can just kind of play your strengths and play the game. But they have the ability to do that. They've shown that they can. Score, quickly and efficiently, and once you get there, then you're in a really tough spot against a team like them. There's no doubt about that.
What do you? I know everybody kind of goes in winning the district and winning, getting to into the tournament, and that do you set goals like that, or what do you look at it when you talk about the team and looking beyond the first game and the season as a whole?
Well, I think big picture, of course, you want to qualify for the playoffs, and I'm sure you know this. This year is much different as far as how you qualify. It's not good enough to be, district champ is going to be in the playoffs, but then the at-large positions are all a part of that, RAI score now, or the, just the different mathematical formula and so forth. So every game counts. Every game's of vital importance to you when you look at just the numbers and the metrics. You have to be on your game for all of the games. It's about your opponent's win-loss record. It's also about the opponents that they play and their win-and-loss record. And then the biggest piece is still your win-and-loss record. But the district, besides guaranteeing a spot by winning a district, getting second place is not a guarantee anymore, which it always has been for the last several years. So we understand the gravity of that. Every game matters, and the way you play, and the fact that you're getting better every game. For us, what I've continued to talk to our guys about is I think we're a team that is built to get better, because even though that inexperience is there, once we acquire experience, if we can do good things with get those great takeaways from experience, I think we should continue to trend in a positive way, because we do have a talented group of kids. It's just that we have, to learn some lessons from being in big games that you can't learn until you're in big games. So that's probably goal-wise for us, is just, the tangible is just get better, find a way to get better all year long.
And here we are back at Waukee Stadium. Waukee won the toss, deferred to Dowling. They'll give them the ball first, Joe. So the defending champions will get the ball to start out their new season in the defense of their title.
Yep, Edward Thompson back there, number 8, along with Jason Murray, deep to receive for the Maroons. Kicking off is Cade Chaden.
Jaden ready to boot it. Taken at the 10-yard line, up to the 15, 20, 25, and tripped up around the 25-yard line by Thompson with the carry. Morrison with the tackle, so they're going to put that at the 27, so a 17-yard return.
for Dowling, and they will take over 1st and 10 here. The Maroons. Receiver in motion across the formation. Handoff up the middle. Nothing there for Jason Murray.
Well, yeah, surprise there. The first player of the year is a handoff to Jason Murray. The running back got 244 carries last year.
And Murray loses 1, 2nd and 11 at the 26. You talked about the quarterbacks are inexperienced, so I imagine we'll see a lot of handoffs tonight to Murray. It's Waters getting the start here. Throw it out wide to the slot. He catches it, gets up across the 30 to the 32-yard line. And Colin Cook takes the pass for 5 yards to Cook. 3rd and 6 at the 31, their own 31. Here's the snap. Fake, yep, gives the handoff. Looked like the fake, but right into the middle of the pile on that Waukee defense right there to meet him, Joe.
Yep, and that's a good sign for Waukee. Their front four are all playing in their first varsity game, so they got a chance against the top team in the state, and they succeeded in their first ever series playing varsity ball.
4th down and 7 for Dowling. Zach Gaines drops back deep to receive for Waukee. And I wanted to say a wave of purple, but that's kind of a darker, I don't know, is that a gray uniform they're wearing here? New uniforms, yeah, as we see the alternate colors even in high school. Good high kick, fair catch called for. He comes up, makes the catch up at the 39-yard line. So good starting position for Waukee here, Joe.
Yep, Mitch Randall will come out here with good field position, looking to lead a drive on his first possession of the year.
So 1st and 10 at the 39. So that was a 61-yard punt? Waukee takes over. Fake the handoff, rolling left, looking, throwing, and just a little high out there. Randall looking for the Eaton. Zach Eaton, one returning guy with a lot of experience, had 379 catches, 3 TDs last year for Waukee.
Yep, 22 catches for 379 yards.
So brings up 2nd and 10 at the 39. Pitch outside, he'll cut it up, is Blake Espelin. And he's going to get maybe a yard.
Michael Keogh was there to shut down the corner with his brother, Jack, assisting on the tackle there for the Maroons.
3rd down, 9 yards to go for the Warriors.
So 3rd and 9 at the 40, Waukee's own 40. Mitch Randall under center has Espelin come across the formation, fakes it to him and keeps it and gets pounded behind the line of scrimmage. So not fooled by the fake, the handoff there, Joe.
Yep, the handoff couldn't get past the all-out blitz coming from the Maroon defense. And I believe at number 46 was Max Bear was the first player in there to get a hand on Randall.
So 4th down and 11 at the 38. So both these teams going 3 and out here in their first time with the ball. Back deep is Matt Stillwell for Dowling. Punt.
And that punt
bounces.
was almost blocked also at the line.
And this is going to roll down to the 21. One thing, Joe, about this field, they tore up the field, put down all new field. I was down there walking. It's really spongy and nice. And talked to athletic director Jim Dewey. He said, yeah, this is going to be, this first year is going to be the nicest as it is as it gets worn down. After 10 years, they replace them. But so a nice new spongy field out there tonight.
Yep, that should be good for both teams here, running on a brand new field.
So no return. Dowling will take over 1st and 10 at the 21. And looks like Waters back in there at quarterback. Fakes the inside handoff, throws out wide. Nice catch out there about the 50-yard line.
Edward Thompson.
Thompson on the catch, so a big play by Dowling. And that's a 19-yard pass. 1st and 10, a 29-yard pass, excuse me. Right up to the 50, and this time stacked up in the middle. And so that might be a case where they're looking for Murray, knowing they might want to run, but there we saw that pass is going to keep that defense honest.
Yep, that's what Zach Waters has to do, is complete some passes to get the running lanes open for Murray back there also, so they don't become too one-dimensional.
Quick toss out to the right side, cutting through the defense to the 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, ripped down at the 5-yard line. Jason Murray, the tailback, took it out of the backfield and then did get by a couple defenders and all the way down to the 5.
Yep, there's that speed we were talking about. You can't leave that enough holes open for Murray because he'll get to it. They got him out in the flat, and that's a good confidence boost to Waters also to get a long pass play like that.
Dowling comes up to the line right away. Murray in there behind Waters. Gives the handoff to Murray, looking over the left side, spins down. Is he in? No, he's just short of the goal line as he went spinning around in there.
Dowling's going to hurry it up here to make sure Waukee can't substitute and they won't be ready.
2nd goal at the 1-yard line. And now, timeout. Official timeout. And they're getting a sub in there. I think they had a injured player for Waukee, and coming in will be number 45, Lucas Saltmarsh, into that line. So here's Zach Waters. Zach Waters with Jason Murray behind him. Snap, and Murray into the end zone. Touchdown, Dowling. 1-yard run with 7:06 to play here in the first quarter. And Baumler in to attempt the extra point. And the PAT is up and good. 7-0. We'll take a break, come back with the kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
Many times at the Lodge of Ashworth, new members come to us from their big, beautiful homes. They find our spacious 2- and 3-bedroom suites to be an ideal fit. We have a limited number of these larger and penthouse-style suites, perfect for the retiring executive-style living. We have suites ready for immediate move-in, or we can help you customize. The Lodge of Ashworth is all-inclusive, no surprise additional fees or upcharges. Call us today for a private tour and ask us about our flexible pricing plans.
And we are back here at Waukee. Dowling goes 79 yards on their second possession. Joe, a couple of big pass plays, one out wide and one just a little out in the flat there.
Yep, Murray only had 11 receptions last year, and a nice little play out in the flat is a good way to get your unexperienced quarterback Zach Waters a confidence booster by throwing it out in the flat to your fast running back and let Jason Murray pick back up right where he left off last season with another touchdown on the ground.
And also a way to kind of spread him out. Here's the kick going back into the end zone for the touchback. And Waukee will take over now, trailing 7-0 here, as Dowling scored on the 1-yard Murray run here after he had that long pass reception out of the backfield. So Here again, not a time to panic, a time to kind of get out. Mitch Randall, the experienced quarterback, settle them down and get something going here.
Yep, a nice drive to get the team together. I'll look for the long ball out to Eaton here in the flat.
Here's Randall. Flanker comes in motion, hands off on that inside handoff. He'll cut it up across the 20, still going. And Sam Yewe picks up some yardage there.
And we've seen teams who try to go to that end-around option against Dowling have a lot of trouble. Dowling does a really good job at taking away the corners and forcing the runners to the middle.
But he picks up 4, 2nd and 6 at the 24. Here's Randall again. This time swings it out to the right side, cuts it up to the 30, 35, and brought down. So that one to Espelin, and hey, if Dowling can get that swing past Joe, why can't Waukee?
Yep, it all comes down to the blocking of the wide receivers out there on those cornerbacks.
So gain of 14, 1st and 10 at the 35 for Waukee, trying to answer the Dowling score. 3 receivers set up to the right side, 1 wide here to the left. And a single back there with junior quarterback Mitch Randall. Rolls down, gives a handoff to Espelin, and Espelin into the line, and maybe he'll get a yard on that.
Tackle led by Connor Kriegshauser, number 88.
And tackle by Connor Kriegshauser.
Nick Collins also in on that tackle, number 52.
And
no gain.
They're going to mark him for no gain. 2nd and 10 at the 35. I'll call it 36.
Waukee looking for a little bit of a hurry-up offense here.
Twin receivers to each side. Fake, give it off up the middle, and Espelin just puts his head down, plows straight ahead. That's good north-south running.
Yep, Espelin's a good power runner. They kind of lost him last year. They had the combo of Jordan Perry, and then they missed out on a little bit of Espelin there for Waukee.
3rd and 5 at the 40 for Waukee. Big 3rd down here, trying to keep this drive alive and answer the score. Here's Mitch Randall. Takes the handoff, now throws across, and incomplete. Intended for Eaton, and all over him was Peterson.
4th and 6.
And, man, Peterson had as tight a coverage as you can get there.
Yep, tried to sneak the ball inside and just ran out of room between the turf and the player.
And Waukee looked to the sideline for a minute, thought about going for it, and then decided, no, we're going to punt. So 5 plays, and they'll kick it away. And Alex Walsh back deep to kick. And right down the middle, bounces and is rolling toward the sideline to roll out at the 25, where Dowling will take over for their 2nd possession.
Dowling will take over there, 1st and 10.
So Waukee got a few plays strung together, but you got to get a few more, Joe, against this Dowling team.
One 1st down won't cut it if they're going to stop you in the next possession. Because Dowling, again, is going to come back out here with that mix of Murray and Zach Waters.
And Prey will come out as quarterback this time for Dowling. He'll take over from Waters. And Prey under center now. Fakes, looks, throws it out deep, and there's interference all the way there. He's trying to plead his case, but.
Yeah, that was pretty clear interference from the beginning there.
Aaron Smith had a
kind of an underthrown ball also.
Yeah, it was. If he kind of waited on that, but the receiver had a step on him. So that'll be a 15-yard penalty up to the 40.
And there we see the 2 quarterbacks kind of battling it out for position here, still into the 1st game. It couldn't be decided in camp.
And Craig, first play is a pass. This time he hands it off to Murray. Murray pushes ahead and had to work really hard to get just a yard on that one.
Yep, running behind those big linemen he's got there is a real advantage to him, but he's not a power runner by any means at just 5'9", 180.
2 receivers right, 1 left. Murray in the backfield with Zach Prey now the quarterback for the Maroons. They lead 7-0 here in the first quarter. Snap. Throws it out wide and gets behind the defense, catches it over the shoulder. 15-10 and tackled down.
Colin Cook with the catch over his shoulder again, opposite field of the last big pass play we saw there.
And man, Joe, those receivers are getting so much separation there that the quarterback just lobbed it up.
Yep, all eyes are on Jason Murray and that fake handoff, and Dowling's going to go ahead and hurry it up again here.
1st and goal at the 9. Hand off to Murray. He takes it right up the gut, plows into the defense, but he'll get some good yardage on 1st down. Down to the 5. And that's the thing, this offense, you got to always keep your eye on Murray, and about the time you do those, if those defenders cheat up, then the receiver's been getting behind him. Here's the snap. Hand off to Murray, dives in, touchdown.
And Dowling, as we noticed there, they're relentless once they get inside the 20. They're going to go into the hurry up, and they're going to run the ball down the other team's throat.
So Dowling, a 5-yard run by Murray, his 2nd here. And Bombler in to attempt the extra point. Carter Bombler for Dowling. It'll be Prey to hold. Kick is up and good. So Dowling takes the early 14-0 lead. We'll take a break, come back with the kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
When people visit the Lodge of Ashworth, they fall in love with our grounds. They're impressed with our dining room, but it is our spacious 2- and 3-bedroom suites that attract the most attention. With bay windows, full kitchens, large walk-in closets, and modern appliances, the Lodge feels like home. We have suites move-in ready, or we will help you customize. Create a home office, media room, or bedroom for visiting friends or family. Call us today for a private tour and ask about our flexible pricing plans.
We are back. Oh, sorry, caught me talking. It's the first game of the season. Laura Leonard's up here, and I'm going to blame that on her for talking to me, right, Joe, on the break. But we'll be hearing more from her coming up. But there we are. Are we there? No. Okay. Well, Joe, Waukee's got a nice return would be good here if they can get one, and then they got to put together a little drive. I know it's only the first quarter, but the thing is with Dowling, their tendency is to wear you down, so you got to keep within striking distance of them.
Yep, you can't get in a 3-score hole. 2 scores is enough already.
Carter Bombler to kick it off. Espelin, one of the receivers, back deep. And short kick taken at the 6. Up to the 15, trying to spin outside and can't break the tackle there. So get it up to the 18.
Tackle for Dowling by Ryan Adam, number 28.
And so it'll be 1st and 10 for Waukee.
The Warriors are going to need Blake Espelin to run tough up the middle.
That's one thing we haven't seen yet is him take off really and get loose. We saw last year, that's how he could break these games open. Randall now, under center, makes a handoff, drops back, rolls, throws it out wide. He has a man behind the defense. Caught by Sam Odell. 1st down, Warriors on a big play. And you called it. They need Randall to step up. He had a nice throw there, right where he needed to his receiver.
Yep, and it was a one-on-one coverage. Looks like we've got a flag on the play down here.
So it'd be 23 yards if it doesn't come back with the flag. Oh, ineligible man downfield, so a penalty will wipe out the big play, and that's the last thing you want, Joe.
Yep, Waukee really needed that big play over the top. They're going to look for that again here, and it's going to be covered now. They got that one-on-one coverage on the island on that one play. But Dowling now, the safety, is going to be looking for that over the top.
So, and a lot of times we see that in these early games. We talked about it, the penalties, especially with as many new guys that Waukee has here, not used to where you're supposed to be, and somebody got a little too far downfield on that. And it's too bad because you didn't really need to go downfield too much on that. They had the guy open right away deep.
Yep, as fast as that play developed, it was kind of a toss it up to go get it play.
So it'll be 1st and 15 at the 19 after the penalty here for Waukee. Receiver comes in motion, faked it. Randall keeps it himself, spins around, gets a few yards. And he'll pick up about 1, but we talked about it. Randall will keep probing there, and he's got the ability to break a big play.
Yep, he's a nice runner. As we said, over about 800 yards last year, had 6 touchdowns. A nice dual threat.
So
2nd and 13 for the Warriors.
2nd and 13 now for Waukee. Slot comes in motion. They fake it to him. Randall breaks free again. He's on the outside, cuts through up across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And that's what we talked about. He picks up the first down. You got to find him every time, don't you?
Yep, he was able to break about 2 or 3 tackles that time before he broke into the second level.
First down.
And the thing that's going to do when they start looking at Randall, it's going to open up those receivers again, won't it?
Yep, and the handoffs will get more confusing.
Randall fakes it, gives it inside and trying to find room outside, but all he finds are Dowling defenders, and they mow him right down. Sam Yewe. No room to get to the outside and turn the corner on that one, and he'll lose 3. 2nd and 13 at the 28 for Waukee. Randall trips right, and there's movement early.
Penalty flags down.
And we'll see who that is against. I think that's going to be Waukee, yep.
Legal procedure against Waukee.
So the second penalty against them. The first one was a big one on that pass play. And now this one doesn't help at all when you're.
Yep, and that's the penalties like that are something the coach doesn't like to see with 4 seniors on that front line. Usually you'd like to get that hammered out by the first game of the season.
Randall sends Esplin to his left side now. Now he brings him back to the right side. Trying to decide here as the clock down to 3-2. They get the snap off. He fakes it. Now Randall finds open room up the middle. Breaks 1 tackle. And he'll pick up a few yards. So this Waukee offense just a little out of sorts right now, Joe.
Yep, and they're just getting gang tackled also. The Maroon defense is swarming to the ball, and it's not one guy, but it's 3 or 4 guys every time it gets in the area.
Well, let's see. They're going to have to get a play off with 50 seconds to play. So 3rd and 13 at the 28 for Waukee. Randall takes it himself. Drives, almost plows through the tackler, and if he could have kept it going for a few more yards, he was close to the first down, but he's going to be short by about 3. Keogh on the tackle.
And Randall got up a little slow, and he's kind of gimping towards the sidelines. He put a huge hit on number 3 of the Maroon defense. Michael Keogh met him at the point of attack, and you like to see that strong run from your quarterback, but at the same time, you don't want him to risk injury.
No, but he is a runner, and usually he knows how to come down. So 4th and 2, and I think they're just going to let the clock run down here. Now the flags are laying down, so it's not a wind issue. I think it's just to gather ourselves up here, get a chance to get over the sideline and talk. it over with the coach. So at the end of one, it's Dowling 14, Waukee nothing. We'll be back with the second quarter after this on CISN.TV.
Best deals of the year at Schottenkirk Ford Indianola. During the Ford Summer Sales Event in Indianola, get 0% for 60 months, plus up to $10,000 off select new 18 Ford F-150 XLT. 0% for 72 months, plus $1,000 on select new 18 Edge, Escape, and Explorers. You get all of the rebates, incentives, and discounts, plus more for your trade. 0% for 60 months, plus up to $10,000 off select new F-150s won't last. Only at Schottenkirk Ford Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
We'll go to the second quarter, and Waukee will be punting here. Dar Danielson along with Joe Danielson. We'll bring in Laura Leonard. What are you seeing out there so far, Laura, on the early going?
Well, you know, I think with Dowling, everybody knows about Jason Murray, and so I think this Waukee defense is concentrated on him so much that they forgot about the pass, and that's where they've gotten burned twice to set up Dowling to give them those 2 scores. So, and I think you guys were talking about it earlier, that the Waukee offense has just stalled themselves. They've hurt themselves with penalties, and I think it kind of took the wind out of their sails after that big penalty, after the big pass play.
So probably smart coaching there to let the quarter run out so that the coach can get him over the sideline, talk to him, calm him down, punt it, say, hey, let's hold them, get back, get the ball back.
And I think that's exactly what they need to do. They're going to kick it away, and then they need to get a 3 and out right away.
Yep, and that also gave their defense a little bit more time to rest and kind of get prepared, because if you get down 21-0 to Dowling, you're in trouble.
Walsh hits it, the bouncer, and rolls all the way down to the 20. So not a real long punt, but a good roll on it. Not long in the air, and it rolls down to the 20.
At the Dowling 21-yard
where
line.
Dowling will take over, leading 14-0 here as we start the second quarter. 2 Jason Murray runs. And Murray had a big pass play out of the backfield on that first one. And let's see, is it 4 or 14? It's 4 out there, I think. So that would be Zach Walters. If you're going to do 2 quarterbacks, you got to have them with 2 separate numbers to make it easier on me. Waters, this time he'll run it right up the middle. Everybody's looking outside, looking at that pass, and Waters just pulls it down and picks up about 14.
Oh, well, we've seen both quarterbacks have big passing plays. Now Waters is kind of showing what he can do with his feet. And this might just be an issue of too much talent to keep off the field with both these quarterbacks.
Well, the coach, you heard the pregame, he said, we're just going to go with, keep rotating and go with who gets a hot hand. There's a handoff, and up across the 40 is Tegan Johnson. And he talked about it. He said, I've not had a full-time, since Ryan Boyle, was a multi-year starter. He hasn't really had a starter that's gone for a long time, and he's used a couple of quarterbacks several times. And as he said, it's about the players buying in and the parents, too. He's very honest about that. Here's Waters. Makes the handoff, rolls right, looks under some pressure, gets some help, and then is brought down back behind the line of scrimmage, so lost back to about the original line of scrimmage that time. So
number 44, Cole Rondall for the Waukee Warriors.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 10. There's that big play you were looking for on defense, Laura.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed, and put them back at the tough number to make at 3rd and 10.
Here's Waters. Showing maybe a little blitz out of Waukee. Now they're trying to come up the middle. They look to beat it over across the middle, but brought down quickly is Jack Lyman, the split end there. So they forced him to check it down, and the defense did their job and turned it over.
Yep, it's a nice stop for Waukee. Again here, they're going to have to see if Mitch Randall shook that hit off, see how he's doing, and get some positive yards.
Gaines, number 19, deep to receive.
Zach Gaines back deep to take the punt for Waukee. Single back there. As there's a low snap, rolling, the rugby style, boots it out, And effective, a good bounce for Dowling. That's going to roll clear down inside the 5 to almost the 3-yard line. And you always want a player to come up, but Dowling got down there so fast it was hard for the single back come up and smother that, Joe.
Yep, that rugby kick, he took a couple steps to his right, giving his players that extra time to run down the field, and then it was a low arching kick also. Basically unreturnable, trapped it in the sidelines almost into the coffin corner.
So first and 10 at the 4, Waukee will take over. Mitch Randall now.
This is when the playbook kind of shrinks down here with all those handoffs that Waukee likes to do. You can't do too much within the 3 yards of your own end zone.
Yeah, in your own end zone, not a lot of fancy stuff, and there you see it right up straight ahead. You called it.
Handoff to Blake Espelin, number 7.
To Espelin. You don't want to do a lot of back and forth stuff and
Levi Hummel on the tackle,
get a fumble there, and they got, where are they marking that? Right about the line of scrimmage, so no gain.
No
second
gain on
and
the play,
10
second and 10.
for Waukee at the 4. We'll see what Randall does here. If he rolls out, no, yep, he's going to keep it and finds his way through there.
Randall on the run.
And
Nate Collins, number 52, made the
defensive
tackle.
line a little smaller for Dowling than the offensive line, but not by much. They still have some big guys in there and some experienced guys in there, Laura.
Well, and they have quickness as well. And when you're in this area of the field, and I think we're going to get somebody jumping in with that quickness, anticipating the snap, trying to get a big play. But you're right. Joe said that the playbook shrinks a little bit, and so the defense knows that, and they can adjust defensively and gamble a little bit.
Well, they're going to call that on Waukee. So, again, the third penalty here for Waukee. Half distance on the penalty. It brings up 3rd and 11. On the 3, Randall looks, wings it out, deep, has a man, caught it! First down! 16, Sam Odell. He's made some big catches early here.
Yep, he made that catch that got negated by a penalty. Luckily, this one's clean. Waukee looking kind of just like they're throwing it up when it's a one-on-one with Sam Odell out there. They're confident that he can just go up and get it.
Why are these receivers getting so far behind the defense here early, Laura? Both sides.
You know, I think it's a matter of speed, but I also think that, giving some good fakes off the line.
And those running quarterback and then the back too. Here's a handoff this time, and that's going to go nowhere as a wall of white and maroon comes in.
Well, and Sam Odell is also 6'3", pretty tall for a wide receiver against these shorter DBs for Dowling. That's why you might see Waukee taking the chance to just, kind of toss it up, a throw up jump ball.
So 2nd and 13 after a loss of 3 there. Randall again wings it out. Espelin looking to get around the corner, breaks a tackle, spins up ahead, and can't quite get the corner turned completely, but does get positive yardage back to about the original line of scrimmage, just short of that, so about 2-yard pickup. So it'll be 3rd and long here for
Gain of 3, 3rd and 11 for the Warriors.
Waukee.
Waukee 32.
Under 7 minutes to play here in the first half. They trail 14-0. If anything else, you keep the drive going, you keep the ball out of Dowling's hands, if nothing else.
And that's exactly what they need to do. They need to make this down and turn it over, get that first down again, give themselves some opportunity.
Yep, inside handoff that time. Goes nowhere. And they'll have to punt it.
Yep, not a lot of luck with those inside end arounds or hesitation handoffs. Dowling a tough
Laura
set
talking about that speed. There's not, it's hard to get out that edge on them, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep, they're taught, as we can see, to take away the corner and force the ball back to the middle, and they're doing it every time here.
So Waukee will punt here.
Correction. Alex Walsh in punt formation, number 8 for Waukee.
I think that's Connor Jackman back. Oh, that punt was almost blocked and taken at the 39. up across to the 48, and that's Stillwell, excuse me, on the return for Dowling. So just about a catastrophe there with the block punt for Waukee.
Yep, that's twice now that Dowling has gotten into the backfield on this.
So they'll take over 1st and 10 at the 47, and we'll see Zach Waters come back out at quarterback for Dowling.
Yep, and this is the time here again. They go to more heavy handoffs to Jason Murray because he does stuff like this.
Flag is down. Murray cuts it outside to the 30, 25, 20, 15. But we'll see. That may be coming back.
Murray, number 2, the running back on the carry.
Or is that a flag? Or is that a dot in the middle there? That's a dot, isn't it?
That's a dot in the middle of the W right there at the 50-yard
I looked
line.
up. I thought that was a flag. Didn't you? But it isn't. And Jason Murray's happy because he gets down to the 15.
First down Maroons from the Waukee 15-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 15. There's a little dot in this field. They just replaced it. And there's a handoff again to Murray. Right up the middle, still spinning and still going.
Murray on the carry, number
And
2.
he gets a couple yards here.
Morrison on the tackle, number 36.
Yep, this is the time for Dowling that they go to their big nose tackles and guards up front and just look to hand off right, hand off left, and they tell you what they're going to do, and then they kind of do it.
And Murray's so patient about staying in there behind him and finding the seam that they're opening up for him. There's a handoff to Murray. He goes to the left a little bit, breaks through, and is down to the 5. He's going to get a first down there, I believe. They mark him there.
Eddie Sadot, number 89 on the tackle.
Yep, it'll be a 1st and goal now for Dowling. 1st and goal at the 5.
That's a Dowling first down. 1st and goal.
It's crucial here for Waukee to hold Dowling to a field goal and not get down 21.
Got the fullback in there, and he'll follow the fullback right on through and cut down on the left side as Waters tried to turn it up.
Quarterback Zach Waters on the carry, number 4.
Trying to follow Drew Snedeker around the corner, but
tackled by Joe Morrison. Number 36.
Came in and cut him down. Joe Morrison picked up 2.
Gain of about 2. 2nd and goal.
2nd and goal at the 3. Keegan Johnson now in there with Waters. Johnson, the offset back. Waters throws it out quickly and cutting up and into the end zone.
Touchdown Dowling.
Colin Cook.
Zach Waters, the quarterback. Throws to Colin Cook.
Well, a good blocking assignments there from Dowling's wide receivers. Yeah, they just kind of a one-on-one out there and in the flat.
And it was set up perfectly, and you're right, the blocking was there. It was easy John into the end zone for the touchdown, and a nice play by Dowling Catholic.
Yep, and Dowling looking for Colin Cook again. The only one of the wide receivers that had actually caught a pass coming into this game was Colin Cook, but he only had 2 all of last year.
So here's the extra point. That is up and good. And it's 21 to nothing. Dowling with 4:02 to play here in the first half. We'll take a break, come back with the kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
At Mid-American Energy, part of putting power in your hands is helping to keep families safe. That's why Mid-American provides free educational safety programs to schools, asks you to call 811 before you dig, have annual furnace inspections, and be aware of hazards at home. Mid-American Energy safely delivers electricity and natural gas to us in good times and stormy ones. That's Mid-American Energy.
Here at Waukee on CISN.TV, Dar Danielson, Joe Danielson, Laura Leonard. And Laura, you gotta like the play selection, the play calling for Dowling. Just when you think they're going to pound Cook up the middle, then or Murray up the middle, then they throw the little pass out there. So they're just really keeping this Waukee defense on their heels.
Well, they're mixing it up very well, and you're right. I mean, I again go back to what I said earlier. They're going to concentrate on Murray because he is the mainstay of this offense. But when you can mix it up and drop in a pass, a little screen, a little flare like that, and then sometimes go over the top, which we've seen here tonight, that defense has got to be able to adjust.
Man, if I'm a quarterback over there, I say, hey, Coach, let's play 3 quarterbacks because I got a great tailback, I got receivers in this big offensive line, you know. There's a lot you can do on that offense.
A lot of different combinations out there.
So, Dowling leading here, 21-0 in the first half, 4:02 to play, and they'll kick it off again to Waukee. Waukee's had a few drives going. Short drives with penalties have been the thing that's kind of done them in, it seems like, when they get something going. And this one is coming deep, and that's going to go into the end zone and for a touchback. No chance to return that. So Waukee will come out. What do you look for here now out of Mitch Randall in the offense, Joe?
Well, they're going to have to be steady. No more flags in their own red zone here as they're starting on their own 20. Again, you don't want to get a 5-yard penalty and move back. 10-yard penalty, move back 10 yards and have the field shrink for you.
And here right before the first half would be nice for Waukee. They'd like to get a long drive going. And he fakes it and keeps it. And Randall gets met at the line of scrimmage and stopped for no gain, maybe a loss of a half yard there. And you just got to keep probing and looking here if you're Waukee.
Yep, we see Dowling's defensive backs playing with a little bit more cushion out there now as they've given up a couple of those big passes.
So 2nd and 10 to 20. Throwing it out wide, and that one's long, and that was probably a smart move with the coverage they had out there, Laura.
I agree, and there's a lot of pressure on him, too, in the backfield. He maybe had to let go of that a little bit sooner than he wanted to and couldn't get enough air underneath it to allow the receiver to run underneath it.
That brings up a 3rd, and we're going to call it 11 now, but mark it at the 19. It's kind of halfway in between. He picked up a half yard in that first run. And Mitch Randall looks to the sideline to get the play. And they got 2 receivers to each side, as you see. Esplin comes in motion. Fakes it to Esplin. Randall keeps it himself. Looking for room. Cuts it back outside. He's got the first down. Still going. Almost breaks free and up across the 35 to the 36. And there's again that explosiveness we saw out of him all last season, Joe.
Yep, and that's the plays that Waukee needs out of Mitch Randall. You know, a quick 3 and out there in their own territory would have been disastrous against Dowling, and he made something happen.
So Randall doing it with his feet. Ran for 757 yards and threw for about 1,700 last year. And here he is again. Esplin comes in motion. He fakes it. Now he looks up and he's met and buried. Has no time to throw there. Defense gets right in on him.
Yep, I'm surprised he was able to hold on to that football. A nice grip. He kind of got sandwiched in between 3 Maroons there.
And that was Drew Peterson coming in there.
Loss of 7.
When your quarterback's responsible for most of your offense, he takes a beating. Randall definitely needs somebody here to step up and take some of the hits for him.
Being 2nd and 17 at the 29, so it's been 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, seems like, here on this series for Waukee. Randall, play clock running down, and now we have to call a timeout as he looked over and saw he only had 6 seconds to get the play off by the time everybody was set. So Dowling leading 21-0. We'll take a break and be back with more after this on CISN.TV.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Back here at Waukee. The Warriors, with 2:06 to play in the first half, trying to get a drive going and get on the board. If nothing else, run the clock out and keep it out of the hands of Dowling, Joe.
Yep, they need to get a strong set of plays to going together here, down 21-0. They really don't want the ball in Dowling's hands, because Dowling is, well, they've been kind of Dowling here tonight. Just same old Murray. They do the same old thing, wear you down, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball.
And then throwing an occasional pass to keep you honest. Here's Randall. Takes it, drops back, throws, looking for a little screen, almost picked off there. As jumping in was number 11, Owen Schlitz. Or no, that's not Schlitz. That is Jack Keogh. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my years instead of my numbers on my sheet. So 3rd and 17, but that was almost a pick six the other way.
Oh, that was, and then it stops the clock with the incompletion, so advantage to Dowling because they have all their timeouts left. If they can stop them here, they're going to get the ball back with a lot of time.
Blitzing that time. Randall finds the seam, gets through there, and not quite up for the first down, but Randall able to slip the blitz, and we saw Keogh coming again. And that's the thing, when you're leading too, you can just send a blitzer, Joe.
Yep, and that's what they like to do best. That's what these guys have been waiting for really all summer, all start of camp and into the school year, is to get out and just all-out blitz against another team.
Well, Dowling calls a timeout. I don't think with Waukee you try to go for it here, do you? Because then you give it in good field position. You try to maybe kick it deep and just don't give up any big plays in this last 153.
Yeah, I think you have to kick it away here and then play a preventative type of defense, that prevent defense, and keep them from marching down the field. I mean, they'll have 2 timeouts left and with a little over a minute and a half, and we've seen them score quickly here tonight.
So when they come out of the timeout, it'll be 4th and 7 at the 39. I don't know what it's like on the field. It's pretty muggy up here in the press box. We're drinking water and sweating like crazy. It's been one of the, it's kind of weird because all summer long we've been praying for rain, and then we get some in the opening of football here, and it's all muggy and humidity here. But I don't know, on the field probably a little more breeze. Matt Stillwell back to receive the punt here for Dowling. A low kick, but it's going to bounce. Stillwell will look like he almost touched, but he got away from it. That was a little dangerous if you get a bad hop on that turf.
Oh, that was very close. I thought, you're right, you need to run away from that. Get away from it and don't chance anything, because that ball popped right up. Waukee could have run it in for a touchdown.
Dowling will take back over here.
I think they're going to come out and look for one of those long pass plays to kind of shorten the field up so they can run the ball back in.
Let's see where they go with it. They stay with Waters, who was kind of running with the hot hand there for. Well, they're going to come out with Prey. And Prey comes out, the quarterback now for Dowling. Trips to the left. And he'll just run it up the middle. And that'll keep the clock running. And they may be playing a little conservative too. Don't want to turn it over in good field position for Waukee, because although they haven't sustained a drive, they do have big play capability.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that if you turn it over, do something here, and give it right back to Waukee, they have the opportunity to score and get some momentum going into the locker room at halftime.
There's a handoff, and right up the middle goes Murray. And he'll be stopped short of the first down by about 4 yards. And brings up 3rd and 3, clock under a minute now.
3 yards to go for the Maroons.
And Dowling content to keep the clock running here, take their time. Prey sends a man in motion, keeps it himself. He'll scoot up for the first down up to the 34-yard line. That'll stop the clock on the first down with 37.9 to play.
By Sam Yeway, number 2.
And
first down Maroons.
They'll roll the clock. So Dowling content here, looks like, to go in 21-0 unless they drop back and heave it deep or get Murray to break through the middle, and he's going to be spun around, almost breaks out of the tackle. Got a few extra yards after contact there, so.
Good job of hanging on and keeping him from breaking one.
He's got that strong base where he just keeps chugging, whether he's trying to spin outside or go inside, and that might be the last play here of the first half, and it will be. And Dowling will go into the locker room with the season opener here, up 21-0. And we'll take a break, come back, give a quick wrap up on the first half scoring, and then we'll have a halftime guest coming up too here on CISN.TV.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury, whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
We are back here at Waukee. It's halftime. Dowling up 21-0. Dowling scored on a 1-yard Jason Murray run with 7:06 to play in the first quarter. The PAT was good. They were up 7-0, and that was on their was that the second drive of the game. I think they punted, and then the second drive they shut down Waukee. And then with 3:33 to play, a 5-yard run by Murray. The PAT was good, 14-0. And then for Dowling, again in the first quarter, or no, that was second quarter, 4:02 to play in the second quarter. A pass of Colin Cook, 3 yards, and it was 21-0. I forgot to write down, was it Prey or Walters? Do you remember who threw that touchdown pass? I think it was Waters who was in at the time, wasn't he? They're alternating quarterbacks. And so Dowling, Joe, efficient is the word you got to use with them, isn't it?
Yep, coming out, looking able to pass and throw, and really just enforcing their will against Waukee. And Waukee has kind of haven't really been able to respond on defense. They've gotten a stop on kind of every other possession for Dowling, but once Dowling gets a good run going, they're hard to stop for anybody.
And for Waukee, one of their big pass plays that would have given them a big first down in Dowling territory, they get a man, ineligible receiver downfield. That wipes that out. And then they just seem to be a little off kilter there since that penalty, weren't they?
Yep, and 4 total penalty flags for them, 0 for Dowling. You talked about Odell. Sam Odell had 2 big catches. One of those was negated by one of those penalties.
So right now it's 21-0, and we're going to bring in Jim Dewey, the AD for. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back, and Laura Leonard's going to talk to the activities director here at Waukee, Jim Dewey. That's coming up after this on CISN.TV.
Truck Month at Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. Up to $10,000 off select new 18 Silverado 1500. Includes the LTZs and High Countries. New 18 Silverado Double Cab LT. $275 per month. Only $19.99 to its signing. Truck Month in Waukee. New 18 Equinox LT. $229 per month. Only $19.99 to its signing. New 18 Cruise. $179 per month. Only $19.99 to its signing. Plus 20% off new Spark, Sonic, and Impala through the end of the month. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
We are back at Waukee High School, and I have the athletic director, Jim Dewey, here with me. And Jim, not probably the start that you wanted to see for your football team here in the first game of the season.
No, it's not. But, as many kids as we lost to graduation and as dominant as Dowling is up front, you kind of had a feeling that something like this could happen, and it did.
Well, talk a little bit about the preparation that this team has gone through and filling those gaps from graduation and what they've done in the offseason.
Well, I know we work really hard in the offseason. We got a great strength and conditioning program. The problem is, just lack of experience. We're replacing seniors that have moved on to play college football with sophomores that played freshman ball last year. So it's going to take us some time. I don't feel bad about our team. I think we do some good things, and I think as the season goes on, you'll see us progress. It's going to be a rough start just based on our schedule.
Earlier, right before the ball game, you had the opportunity to honor quite a few students. Waukee was named the top athletic team in the state, if I'm correct, as far as point-wise goes. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're really proud of that. It's our third time that we've won that award in the last 4 years. It's an award that's based on all of the schools' places at the state competition level. You're awarded points for your placing, and with the help of 3 state titles and a runner-up finish and just having 15 different sports placed in the top 8, we were able to accumulate 85.5 points, and that was enough to win. As I mentioned, it's our third time in the last 4 years, so we're really proud of that. Another award that we just received this week, we found out that for the 4th consecutive year, we won the Bank Iowa Challenge Cup, which is the award that not only takes into consideration your athletic success, but also your fine arts and your academic success. So as a district, that's probably the one that we're more proud of.
Well, football isn't the only fall sport going on right now. We've got a lot of other things going on. You guys have always been very strong in all those sports, volleyball, cross country. How are those things going early on? I know school just started, but how's it going?
We started school yesterday. I know our cross country teams get into action tomorrow over in Cedar Rapids. Preseason rankings don't mean a whole lot, I don't think, but we are ranked fairly high in both those sports. Our swimmers got underway last night. Our golfers have already had 3 meets already, and so yeah, the golf season goes quickly. The state tournament is the first week of October, so you have to get a lot of things in early. So we're pleased with where we are to start with. We know we had a great year last year, and the exciting thing is if you just look on paper at so many of those sports, we should be as good or better in many of those sports this year.
So you guys have a great stadium here, great field. Talk a little bit about the preparation that goes into hosting the opening game of the season and what you guys have to do. Well,
the fact that I mentioned earlier that it was only our second day of school makes this one a really difficult first game and preparation for it. We pride ourselves on having a good game day atmosphere, and it does take a little bit of work. Our video board helps us a lot with what we're able to put up on the board. Can't say enough about our crowd support, our community support, and I know you can't pan to the crowd right now, but just a full house. I looked at, there were 3 minutes left in the first half, and there were still people lined up outside trying to get in. And that's not just our crowd, that's a good Dowling following as well, but it really makes for a neat Friday night.
Absolutely, a great atmosphere. You guys always put on a good show. Thanks for joining us here at halftime. Really appreciate it. Jim Dewey, Athletic Director here at Waukee. We'll be back with more of the second half.
I'll step in with you. Okay. We let our, thanks, Jim. That's all right. We let our the person at board op at the controls, she needed to take a break, so I'm sorry, I should have given the signal, but anyway, so let's talk about this. What is Coach Carlson in the locker room? What's he saying then to his Warrior team?
Well, I think what needs to be done is defensively, they got to shore some things up. They've got to expand their vision and look at the passing game as well, but they've got to key in on Jason Murray as they have been doing early on, and they did a good job early on in the first quarter, but then Dowling started breaking open a lot of holes, and that's what that big offensive line will do, is break open those holes to allow not only Murray but the quarterbacks to be able to run up through the middle.
Talk with Tom Wilson, in the pregame, he said, we don't talk much about that 5 straight state championships, we have our system, we come out and we want to play. They don't talk about it, but you got to know it's always in the minds of the other team that you're playing. They know that this is the team that's been at the top, and somebody's got to knock them off. So that's always got to be a little bit of a psychological thing too, doesn't it?
Oh, I think so. I mean, they have the advantage of being the champion, and nobody's knocked them off the pedestal yet. I mean, they are defending state champions a few times over, and so I think that helps them with their confidence. But coming into every ball game, everybody's gunning for you, thinking that you can be the one to knock them off, and so you have to prepare that way. And with Dowling, it's so impressive to see what they do year in and year out. They graduate a lot of players, they graduate a lot of skilled players, and they're just able to come back and bounce back. And I think, you know, somewhere along the line, it's just going to take a team to knock them off, and then everybody else around the area will go, oh, they can be beaten, so we have an opportunity when we go in and play them. But I think advantage goes to Dowling Catholic because they do have those titles under their belt.
I think we saw that, was it Marv Cook's teams over at Regina that won like 4 in a row? You kind of get on a roll, and it just becomes natural to those players coming up that you're always going to the state championship game and always playing for a title. And you've seen that no matter, you know, softball, we just did those, you know, whatever sport you're in, there's just a confidence that builds in a team that has that success, isn't there?
It absolutely is, and when you can get that success, then it kind of feeds to the lower levels, and then everybody gets the bug, gets the itch. Hey, I want to play for that team. I want to be a part of that program because it's so good and it's so fun to be able to win games and be as good as they are. And so it doesn't matter what sport it is. It could be softball, could be basketball, could be golf, it could be anything. But if you have that winning tradition and you continue to build it from the ground up, then you're going to be strong year in and year out.
I have kind of looked at the volleyball. I haven't looked at it a whole lot. I've been focused on football. Anything, a lot of the same names when you looked at the rankings, weren't there?
I think there is, and I haven't really perused that either, but you always have to figure that, you know, Ankeny Centennial's going to be in there. You have to figure Johnston's going to be in there, at least in the metro area. You know, some of the city schools, so to speak, the Roosevelts and Lincolns, and they have a team every once in a while that will pop up and be a powerhouse for the season and have a good team. So I think it's going to be some of the same, but then you're always going to have that one team that kind of comes out of nowhere that is going to surprise a lot of people.
Well, we are here at halftime dialing up 21-0, and we are ready to take a break now, so we'll do that. No problem. I should have signaled you that we didn't. Because if I went over there and started punching buttons, we'd probably be off the air the rest of the night, and I'd get yelled at, you know. But anyway, those first game things would get it set up. We'll take a break. Be back with more here on CISN.TV.
It takes more than a great price and great selection to continue to grow every year. We believe the reason is our core values. Hard work, we work hard for you. Integrity, it's not optional, it's required. We build trusting relationships and don't run when the problems arise. We're always improving the customer experience. It's been the Schottenkirk way for over 50 years. Schottenkirk Chevrolet, Waukee, and the all-new Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola.
Mr. Hometown Clothing Store, the one that had it all, everything to get the work done, all in one place. G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health. Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. It's kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Joe, come on in.
Many times at the Lodge of Ashworth, new members come to us from their big, beautiful homes. They find our spacious 2- and 3-bedroom suites to be an ideal fit. We have a limited number of these larger and penthouse-style suites, perfect for the retiring executive style living. We have suites ready for immediate move-in, or we can help you customize. The Lodge of Ashworth is all-inclusive, no surprise additional fees or upcharges. Call us today for a private tour and ask us about our flexible pricing plans.
And we're back here at halftime from Waukee Stadium. The score here, Dowling Catholic Maroons 21 and the Waukee Warriors 0. We came back there from a nice halftime recap, and now we're looking to start the third quarter here. Waukee will be receiving the kick, and they'll look to get on board.
Yeah, they deferred, and it worked. They stopped Dowling on their first possession. The trouble is they didn't stop them on the second, and then they've I would say the defense has played fairly well, Joe, but the offense hasn't given them much time to be off the field here, have they?
Yep, and that's where you see wearing down Dowling getting those long drives and scoring, and that comes off that quick turnaround for their defense.
And I think what everybody would like on Waukee side is you get the kickoff and you get a sustained drive, and even if you don't get points or maybe a field goal or something, anything positive, points on the board, Laura, would be good for Waukee at this point.
I think that's got to be the goal coming out of the locker room, is to have a sustained drive, be able to march it down the field, take some time off the clock, be methodical about it, but punch it in. They need some points on their first drive.
Well, where is that sheet for? My stat sheet I had, it's been like 64. Okay, here we go. Dowling has won 64 of their last 67 games, 23 straight playoff wins, and when you win 5 straight state titles, I guess that shows you. And so getting a win against them, I think, and you know what, I think the only team to beat them in that time has been Valley, if I remember right. And I
think it was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think they beat him once last year and then the year before, and I'm not totally sure. I know it's at least 2 of the 3 losses they've had in the last has been to Valley. So for Dowling, Joe, you can't come out and say, okay, we're cruising along at 21-0, because we know that Waukee does have some potential to score here. And one thing we've seen out of Waukee is they always make some kind of run in their games. They've always had that in all the years we've been doing games, their last 3 anyway. It seems like they come back and make a run sometime in the game.
Yep, they're not totally out of it. They're not totally out of it yet here. Down only 3 scores. They can come out and get a quick score and a stop. Then they're still in this game. It's not over yet.
Well, they're still warming up out there. I wasn't going to ask, but I wonder what I know he said the fields last about 10 years, but I wonder what it costs to replace a field like that. I was talking to Jim Dewey the other day, and he said that, or no, I guess I was talking to Coach Carlson. He said they just pull the whole top up, and then they put all those little pebble things back in and fluff it all up. But it's been great, especially for a school like Waukee, well, any school where you can do multiple things on the field and don't have to worry about wearing out the grass. And if it rains, you don't have those problems. You can play soccer. You can have the younger sports practice. You can do all kinds of things, can't you?
Oh, it's a huge advantage to have a facility like this, because you can see the markings out there for soccer, and so you can do a lot of different things. And you're right, I think that one of the biggest things is the daily wear and tear of having a practice on a grass field wears it down, and then you don't have a nice field like this when it comes game time, and you want to have the best conditions possible for your athletes.
And I believe that's the answer to the question of what the yellow dot is out there. That's probably for soccer, where they put it for the kickoff. I should know that, but anyway, so about ready to kick it off here in the second half. Waukee deferred, so they'll take the ball, and really Dowling too, Joe. They haven't given Waukee any chance to return the ball too much. They've, special teams too have been good for Dowling.
Yep, and they've also been threatening on those punts for Waukee. Dowling has almost blocked a couple punts so far. Great kickoff coverage, really no chance at any return.
So it'll be Carter Baumler to kick it off for Dowling when they come out. Here, they're on the far side, as you see them over there. On the near side here where we're at are the Waukee Warriors. And Waukee Stadium and the upgrade that last year we talked about to put in that big screen up there, and that's a little bit bigger than the TV I have at my house. I get it, Jim. I asked him if I'd come over here some Sunday and watch football, and they're, maybe we can arrange that. We can pipe it in. But anyway, so
that might be a good fundraiser. Have the rent out the stadium and put a big football game up there on the big board.
And Pat Curtis tells me 7-2 Southeast Polk over Valley at the half, and that matchup. Haven't heard back from Mr. Yeager. He's doing the Ankeny game over there, and haven't heard a score yet from him. We'll have to see if we can get that. But Southeast Polk leading Valley.
Number 2, Sam Yeway. Number 5, Aaron Smith. Number 7, Blake Espelin.
Aaron Smith, Sam Yeway, and Blake Espelin back deep to receive the kickoff here from Dowling as we get ready to start the second half. Waukee gets the ball with some work to do. And Carter Baumler, the 6'2 junior, ready to give it a boot for Dowling. Here we go. And again, it's high and deep and into the end zone. And high school, once it breaks that plane, you can't run it out. So they'll start out first and 10
for the Warriors.
At their own 20 for Waukee. Start the second half. They had, was it one drive where they crossed the half line into Dowling territory, I think, in that first half? It might have been offensively. Here's Mitch Randall. Fakes a handoff, keeps it himself over the left side, and works his way up for a pickup of a couple.
On the carry. Dowling tackle by Levi Hummel, number 48.
Levi Hummel, number 48 for the Maroons, with the tackle on that play on defense.
And Randall.
Second and 8.
You see receiver down here at the bottom of the screen, 2 up high, in the slot on the right. He'll throw it to that slant route and tipped up and intercepted by Dowling. Jack Keogh with the interception.
Number 11, Jack Keogh for the Maroons.
I didn't see, did you see who tipped it?
Keogh tipped it and caught it himself.
Keogh tipped it, okay. I was kind of watching the quarterback. So Keogh intercepts it, so exactly what you don't want to have a turnover to start the second half.
Deep in your own territory. They were trying to get a slant pattern run there, and Keogh read it perfectly, got the hands up, tipped it to himself, and Dowling's now in business.
So just a few seconds in, and Dowling has a first and 10 at the 27. And that's Prey. He hands off and met in the hole and driven back.
Jason Murray, the running back, on the carry.
By number 19,
By number 18,
or 18, Zach Eaton. So Eaton, one of those guys, is playing both ways for Waukee, and he makes a big stick there. Stopped him for a 3-yard gain, which looked like he was picking up a head of steam.
Yep, one of the 3 seniors on that Warrior defense.
Prey has trips to the right, single back in the backfield. Throws it out wide, caught and out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Beautiful throw and a great adjustment on the ball over there.
But there really wasn't any coverage over there on him. He was running wide open and had plenty of time to adjust to that pass.
Nicholas Barreto made the tackle.
So first and goal at the 3.
The tackle on that play by Nicholas
First and
Barreto.
goal to go for the Maroons from Milwaukee 3.
That'll bring us first and goal, yep.
6-0 Centennial at the half. So a couple tight ball games there with Southeast Polk and Valley and the Ankeny matchup. Here's a handoff, looking for room, and there's touchdown. Number 3 for Jason Murray. Another 3-yarder. With 10:46 to play here. Murray runs it in from 3 yards out.
And they just overload that right side and just send everybody that way. Everybody one-on-one blocking, open up a hole for Murray to run through.
And he's so good, he's either got the power to power it up in there or just wait and find the crack and then dive through it. And that time he kind of had a little bit of both, just right through. As Baumler kicks the extra point, and it's 28-0. Dowling will take a break, come back with a kick after this on CISN.TV.
When people visit the Lodge of Ashworth, they fall in love with our grounds. They're impressed with our dining room, but it is our spacious 2- and 3-bedroom suites that attract the most attention. With bay windows, full kitchens, large walk-in closets, and modern appliances, the Lodge feels like home. We have suites move-in ready, or we will help you customize. Create a home office, media room, or bedroom for visiting friends or family. Call us today for a private tour and ask about our flexible pricing plans.
So that was 32-second drive there by Dowling off the interception. They turned that into points, the Jack Keogh interception, and it's 28-0 Dowling over Waukee, and they'll kick off here once again. Dar Danielson, Joe Danielson, Laura Leonard with you. Here is the season opener, Waukee.
We saw again there as Dowling got the ball deep in their opponent's territory. They're real aggressive and looking to score immediately.
Yeah, they don't take much time when they get it. They want to take it right to you, and they have the weapons to do that. So Baumler will set it up and kick it off once again. Carter Baumler. Here's the boot. Coming high and taken about the 3-yard line, up to the 10, 15, 20, 24-yard line. Espelin with the return.
Tackle for Dowling by Drew Peterson, number 27. And number 23, Amun.
So, not a bad little return by Espelin. Sets him up 1st and 10 at the 25. Waukee now trailing.
From the Waukee 25.
The interception by Dowling ended their Waukee's drive to open the second half. There's a handoff inside and leaning forward for a couple.
Sam Yehweh, the running back.
Yehweh.
Number 2. Connor Craigshauser, number 88. Max Bay,
Craigshauser
bolted on that tackle.
And Max Bay came together on the tackle there for the Maroons.
2nd and 8.
2nd and 8 for Mitch Randall. Junior quarterback trying to get something going here. And that is Yehweh, met in the backfield and spun back. They'll give him a little forward progress, so it's only a loss of a couple.
That's Craigshauser again in the backfield, just 6'6", 195 defensive end.
Officials timeout.
Well, that's another thing, Joe. When you got that 28-point lead, you can take a few more risk on defense and send some guys, or guys don't have to worry so much about the assignments that just come hard at them, knowing that you got a little bit of lead and you can put a little more pressure on. Pin the ears back, as they say, and go at it. Here's Randall now, trying to get something going. He'll take it himself. Spins out of one tackle, still going, and gets a hard-fought 2 yards. Broke a couple tackles and took a couple hits, and ends up back to the original line of scrimmage and 4th down and 10 here.
4th and 10 for the Warriors.
And we'll bring the punt team back out. Alex Walsh for Waukee. And Matt Stillwell back to return for Dowling. He's back at his own 46.
Good snap, pressure, and he gets it off again. It's flat, but that works okay till he picks it up. 36, sidesteps the tackle, gets up to about where he was at the start. So
still had a little bit of space there. A hole opened up.
Flag down, and we'll see what that is.
I think there might have been a little extracurricular activity setting up for the run back.
They're going to call holding.
Holding against Dowling Catholic.
I think, is that Dowling's first penalty? I think so. So that'll negate the 10 yards that Stillwell did get on the return. Well, now they're talking it over here. Now, one thing they're doing this year, the top team in the district gets the automatic berth. Then the other teams are decided by the ratings, RPI, or whatever you want to call it. Now, if this holds out and Dowling keeps winning, it's not such a bad loss for Waukee, but you're one in the hole, so you got to keep winning as you move along.
And they have a really tough schedule. And talking with Jim Dewey, they have a lot of ranked teams on their schedule, and said, you know, we're going to have to upset somebody just to have a winning record.
As Murray takes it outside. Can't quite get around the corner, picks up 2.
Cole Romdahl, number 44, made the stop for the Warriors.
And brings up 2nd and 9 at the 37 for Dowling.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Well, they're going to give him just 1 yard, I guess. And here's Dowling once again. And that's Waters back in there, hands off and running hard, but finally tackled is Murray.
Waukee tackle by Caleb Paulus, number 66.
He gets
and Mason
pick up a 2.
Seifried, correction, number 20. Also in on that tackle.
Now, still here a big 3rd down, because if you get a stop, you still got a chance. You know, there's a lot of time left, and, you know, get your offense sparked.
That defense really needs to dig in here and shut them down, hold them. And there's some movement on the line.
Yep. So they're Dowling now a penalty. Movement, so that helps out too. That'll make it a 3rd and 12 instead of a 3rd and 7. 3rd and 12 at the 34.
That makes it 3rd down. 12 yards to go for the Maroons.
Waters takes the snap, fakes it, looks downfield, fires it out the right side and a little high, but good coverage out there defensively by Waukee.
Intended for number 6, Mason Heckman, it's incomplete. Mason Seifried defending on the play, number 20.
Got good protection back there, a lot of time to throw, but just overthrew the receiver.
Yep, that's a big stop for Waukee here as they try to stick in this game. A late stop on 3rd down. It just breathes a little hope back into their offense.
And there again, a penalty. Hurt that drive a little bit. It went from a 3rd and 7 to a 3rd and 12 for Dowling as now they shift out. A couple guys wide on that punt formation. Clock running all the way down to 1 second, and I don't know if he got it off. I don't think he did. That's going to be a delay of game, I believe, on Dowling.
Penalty before the snap.
Yep, delay of game on Dowling. So another penalty, and it's just 5 yards, but 5 yards when you're trailing for Waukee is going to help.
I understand what they were trying to do, run the clock down a little bit, but now you're going to back up 5 yards, give Waukee a little bit better field position.
A good return, and he's in Dowling territory here. Here's a snap. Punt, a little pressure. He just gets it off, calling for the fair catch. And he fumbled it, and Dowling will fall on it.
Punt is recovered by Dowling.
And
looked like Christian Owsley, number 42.
I think it was Eaton back there that fumbled it. He came up, though. Was it?
First and 10 Maroons from the Waukee 33.
No, that's Zach Gaines. Okay. He came up, and the Dowling player kind of came by him. I would almost have turned and argued to the official that he interfered, you know. He kind of had to go around it after calling the fair catch, but the second turnover here. And it's first and 10 at the 33 for Dowling. And Waters lobs it out the right side and a little long over the head of the receiver for Thompson.
Yeah, he had Thompson open on the corner again. He had some time. He could have set back and threw that ball directly to him, put a little too much under it.
Well, that deep out is one that's not an easy one to throw. You got to get the ball under it and get it just out there. You don't want to underthrow that with the coverage, but that time a little too far. And now they get a receiver on late. They'll set up with twins to each side now for Waters with the second and 10 at the 33. He'll fake it and carry it himself and scoot up ahead for a pickup of a couple, maybe three. And bring up a third and 8 at the 31.
Another tackle for the Warriors. Third down, 8 yards to go for the Maroons.
Well, if you're the Waukee defense here, you have to believe that you've got to make 2 stops here because they're going to go on 3rd and 4th down. Dowling is probably not going to punt it away. They're in a situation and a place in the field where that does not make any kind of sense.
Inside handoff, and the defense comes up there and snows under Edward Johnson, who took it out of the flanker spot coming across. And so, just like you called it, Laura, the defense pushes them back. And field goal wise at the 36, that'd be a 53-yarder. You're right. I think they'll probably will. Well, maybe they'll be back enough to punt it now.
Looks like they're going to kick the field goal.
Oh, they're going to try the field goal. Okay.
Number 16 in to attempt the field goal.
So Baumler will try a 43-yarder here.
He's got a pretty big leg.
Snap and a fumbled snap. Now Baumler will try to run with it, and he's going to be pulled down, and so the defense comes up big, and mistakes on this drive with the penalties really have hurt Dowling here.
That's the kind of defensive stand that Waukee needed right there. They were in danger of giving up more points, and instead they get the turnover and they're heading the other way.
Now here's where I always like some of the coaches, you go for the big deep shot right after the turnover, and we'll see. Now the officials.
First and 10 Warriors.
Okay, they're saying no, reset it, move the sticks up. Sometimes you catch a team a little down after that turnover. Are we going to time out here?
Officials time out for a water break.
Oh, they're going to take a water break. Well, that kind of takes the, I don't know if that takes away the go deep, but maybe they won't be thinking about it, you know. But just something to break something open here seems like, you know, you need.
Yeah, it gives Waukee an opportunity to talk and set a little bit of a game plan. What are they going to run maybe the next 2 or 3 plays? See if they can get Dowling Catholic on their heels defensively.
Well, they're just starting the second half at second half, and it was 6-0 Centennial at the half there. Southeast Polk was 7-2 over Valley at halftime there. And I believe they're starting the second half.
They just flashed a score across that it was Valley 9, Southeast Polk 7 in the third quarter.
Oh, so they must have scored a couple. Or wait, no, it was 7-2, right? So they scored 1. Okay. Yeah, so Valley has scored here to make it. Yeah, there it is, 9-. I think that's new, the scroll of the scores. I don't think they had that last year. Here's Randall, brings him out. He fakes, he drops back, rolling, throws across, nice throw across the body, hits his receiver, still going, down to the 40, cuts it through, breaks free, 30, what a play! Zach Eaton makes a beautiful catch, then picks up yards after the catch on his own, Joe.
Yeah, he kind of single-handedly brought back this team and this crowd back to life here for Waukee as Eaton with a big play. Now Waukee's got some momentum.
So they go.
And that's a Waukee. First down.
They go from their own 39 down to the 30. 1st and 10. Dropping back to passes. Randall throws it toward the end zone. It is touchdown! Waukee Warriors. Eaton. Beautiful throw. Beautiful catch. Waukee is on the board. Had to wait. The official, Laura, right down there on the line, was watching it, and he took his time, but beautiful catch.
That was 2 impressive pass plays right there. Scored quickly, and that's exactly what they needed. And what a great job by Zach Eaton. Great hands to haul both those passes in.
Yep, over 2 defenders there on that last touchdown pass. Also a nice route and a nice throw and a nice catch.
And who was it that said they should come out throwing deep after that turnover? I don't know, you know.
Was that you?
Was it Joe? No, oh, wait, that was me, wasn't it? Yeah. Hey, I'm not shy about patting myself on the back. Nobody else will. Oh, no. So here's the extra point attempt. And fumbled snap, but they get it off. And it's good. So everything going Waukee's way, and it's 28-7. Let's see if we got a comeback going on. Back with a kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
Best deals of the year at Schottenkirk Ford Indianola. During the Ford Summer Sales Event in Indianola, get 0% for 60 months, plus up to $10,000 off select new 18 Ford F-150 XLTs. 0% for 72 months, plus $1,000 on select new 18 Edge, Escape, and Explorers. You get all of the rebates, incentives, and discounts, plus more for your trade. 0% for 60 months, plus up to $10,000 off select new F-150s won't last. Only at Schottenkirk Ford Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
Well, Waukee comes out. They went 61 yards in 2 plays, Joe, to get on the board here and get some life back in the crowd and life back in the Waukee here.
Yep, and they kind of been looking for this all game, those 2 big plays. Unfortunately, they just haven't really been there until late in the 3rd quarter here.
And Laura, credit the line. He had a lot of time, especially on that touchdown pass, to stand back there and let Eaton get down the field.
Yeah, it was a great job. They hadn't been doing it all night long, but they settled in and they held their blocks, gave him enough time to find the receiver and lay it right in there.
Well, we'll see now how Dowling responds after Waukee drove it down the field. And
penalty before the kick.
There's a penalty before the kick. We have somebody jump offside. No, delay of game. Okay. So
delay of game against Waukee.
I wasn't even looking at that. You hardly ever see that happen on a kick.
No, but what a break, though, for Waukee, because it looked like he might have gotten it off the side of his foot. Would have given Dowling great field position.
Yeah, that kick was going to come up short, and if anybody even falls on it, they were going to have, as you say, good field position. So kind of a do-over for Jaden.
Jaden to kick off, number 3.
Kicking it for Waukee. We'll see what he does with it this time. As now the Dowling return man up at the 10. And another boot that's short, taken at the 34 and ripped down quickly. Gets a few yards on the return.
Quick kick.
But
Jack Keogh, number 11.
Keogh on the return, but that was a
Nicholas Barreto, number 34.
not another
Aaron Smith, number
very good kick. I don't know what.
It could have been planned.
Maybe
Maybe
it
they were
was.
trying to pop it up high enough that one of
drop
their
it.
players could have run underneath it.
Or drop it in that side hole and get it a roll.
Yeah.
Problem with that is the way it was angling. If it goes out of bounds, then you got a penalty and they bring it up anyway. But whatever the strategy is, Dowling 1st and 10 at the 37, and let's see if they answer here after the Waukee score. And Waters at quarterback for Dowling. Hands it off inside. And a little counter action, breaks free. Murray up the sideline, back inside. He breaks the tackle. He's going to go. Touchdown. Jason Murray, a bolt of lightning.
Yep, and just when they thought they had him tackled in the backfield, he breaks a tackle, and then he's gone down the sideline.
63 yards for Murray for touchdown number 4. And wow, if that doesn't throw cold water on a comeback, I don't know.
Well, it sure does, and that's the quick answer by Dowling Catholic to just shut down Waukee after they have the momentum and all fired up after that last score, and Murray just down the sidelines and escapes several tackles.
And there's the kick. It's up and good. 35-7. We'll take a break, come back with the kickoff after this.
At Mid-American Energy, part of putting power in your hands is helping to keep families safe. That's why Mid-American provides free educational safety programs to schools, asks you to call 811 before you dig, have annual furnace inspections, and be aware of hazards at home. Mid-American Energy safely delivers electricity and natural gas to us in good times and stormy ones. That's Mid-American Energy.
Back here at Waukee. Well, Waukee goes 61 yards in 2 plays. And Dowling turns around and goes 63 yards in 1 play, Joe. So anything you can do, I can do better. All of a sudden, the scoring's broken out. The bad part about that is Waukee was trailing, and so Dowling just answers their big score.
Yep, and Dowling also failed to capitalize on a couple turnovers. That was a good stops by Waukee on defense, but again, it only takes 1 play for Murray to get to the end zone.
And that time Murray he slipped a couple tackles at the line of scrimmage, then slipped the last tackler and then was gone. And there's a fumble on the kickoff, and who's on it? Dowling player came sliding in. Let's see. And it's Dowling's ball.
That's 2 big mistakes on fielding a punt and now a kickoff for Waukee. Again, that first week, getting late in the game in the first week, they've got to really tie up some mental errors.
I know they took a water break earlier, and some of these guys might be getting a little tired. Now, Dowling, when you score like that, it puts a charge in you. Waukee got a little charge, but then Dowling took it right back out of him. So, again, Waukee's defense, they've been asked to stiffen up a lot tonight, and they're going to have to do it again here, Laura.
Well, they're on the field a lot here the whole game, not just the first half, but here in the second half, they've been on the field a lot. And when that happens, you get tired, you're prone to giving up big plays.
Waters slips by on the run.
Joe Morrison made the tackle,
and
36. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
Gain of 6. 2nd and 4 at the 16 for Dowling as we go under 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. It seems like this third quarter's been a long one. It kind of has, I guess. Waters rolls right. Now cuts it up himself. Is stacked up, and he's gonna look like he's gonna be short, but now he gets closer to that stick as he keeps moving ahead.
Alex Wiggins, number 99, led the tackle.
And Waters will be just shy, I think, of the first down where they're marking it there, maybe a yard. Well, I don't think either one of these quarterbacks have made the decision for Tom Wilson easier to go with one or the other tonight, have they?
I don't think so, and they both have played very well. They both have their different strengths and qualities, and it just is nice to kind of have that 2-quarterback system.
There's the fullback.
Johnson, the running back. Number 31.
Tegan Johnson, rather, the running back. He just plows through and hurtles up over and gets the first down.
Number 44, assisted by Joe Morrison.
Seems like Waters maybe has had a few more snaps.
First down Maroons.
But Prey didn't, show any negatives that I saw too much when he was in there. Now Waters under center. Takes it, rolls right behind a couple blockers, trying to cut it up into the end zone. Touchdown, Dowling. Waters keeps it himself.
Touchdown run by Zach Waters, number 4, the quarterback.
7-yard touchdown. With 2:38 to play.
Such great blocking up front. The line moving and everybody doing their job.
Those two running backs just went right around and sealed that edge for him, didn't they?
And it just opened up a hole for him to run right through.
Yep, you can almost watch those holes open up in kind of slow motion from up here.
And there's the high kick. Man, that was
That
almost
makes
as
it
high as the
Dowling
scoreboard.
Catholic 42.
Kick is good. So Dowling Catholic 42, Waukee 7. We'll take a break, come back with the kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
It's the season opener on CISN.TV. Thanks for watching tonight. Dowling, the 5-time defending champion, has come out looking like they've found the replacements filling in well here against a good Waukee team. Waukee scored, but Dowling answered. Then a fumble gave it back to Dowling. I think that's, what is that now? 4 turnovers for Waukee, and Dowling's turned 3 of them into scores, I believe. And you just can't do that against a Dowling team, especially when you turn it over deep in your own territory and give them a short field to play on. That's just asking for trouble, isn't it?
And putting your defense right back on the field.
Yeah, those defenders have been out there quite a bit.
For Dowling, Drew Johns,
And the
number 43.
thing is, when they scored too, it was a 2-play drive for Waukee, so the defense didn't get much rest there either, did they?
You're right, they didn't.
It was 2 deep passes. Here's the kickoff, taken, and Espelin spins around and gets up to the 22.
Number 7 on the return for the Warriors.
So Waukee will take over at the 22.
Tackle was made by Amoon Dang, number 23. First and 10 Waukee from the Warriors 23.
Mitch Randall brings them out with under 2 minutes to play in the third quarter, and Waukee's going to be happy to see this third quarter wind down, although they did score. But there's a pass in behind. He had a receiver coming in, Espelin, and threw it behind him. It didn't look like he was particularly under a lot of pressure, but
yeah, they finally started to get him some time back there. It's kind of a shame it's come too late here, late in the third quarter, down 5 touchdowns.
2nd and 10. Fakes it, wings it out to the right side, cuts it up, breaks free, 40, Eaton, 30, foot race, 20, 5, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! 77 yards. So there's that big playability that, as you talked about, Joe, coming a little late here in the game.
Yep, again, they're coming alive late in the game. Another one big play, one pass, one touchdown to Eaton, the big play wide receiver here for the Warriors.
So that's the second catch for Eaton. The first one was for 30, the second one for 77. 107 yards, not a bad night. And he has, and 2 touchdowns, and he's had some other catches too, I think. And that kick is up and good. And makes it 42-14. We'll keep it right here now. And, you're even at the point, too, where you can't I don't think you want to try an onside kick or anything, because that margin is so big, and you don't want to give Dowling a short field at all.
No, you don't want to do that at all. And again, all their scoring plays, or their scoring drives have been 2 plays and 1 play.
Yeah,
and so your defense now is going right back out on the field if you don't recover the onside kick. So you don't want to do that. You want to push them deep, see if you can hold them and get the ball back.
Yeah, the good news, defense, the offense scored. The bad news is it's 1 play in a few seconds, and you guys are back out there again, and we need another stop. So we'll see what happens.
Well, last time they kicked off, they did try to kick it short or try to kick it into the no man's land area right around the 40. So see what the plan of attack is this time. They're kicking off from a different side of the hash mark.
And that did seem to work. They got the stop with the help of a penalty there. So we'll see what happens for Waukee. Cade Jaden set to kick it. As you said, he puts it on the right hash mark this time after kicking it from the left. And kind of boots it deep, taken at the 2. Up ahead to the 20, and hit and driven back.
On the 2-yard line, Jason Murray returns with
Murray with the return. So that's not a bad result that time. And Dowling will take it back with 1st and 10 at the 23.
1st and 10 Dowling.
And out comes Zach Prey at quarterback this time, as they've been alternating between Waters and Prey. He hands off, fumble, and it's still on the ground. Who's got it? I think Dowling got back on it, but
recovered by Dowling.
Man, several of those Waukee players, Laura, looking down at their feet. Trouble is those big linemen can't get down quick enough, can they, to get on that?
It was on the ground for a long time, and I'm not sure who recovered that for Dowling Catholic, but saves the possession for them. But you're right, sometimes when that ball's kicked around, nobody can get to it fast enough.
Lost the yard on that. 2nd and 11 at the 22 for Dowling. Clock under a minute now, under 30 seconds, in fact. There's a wing out, caught through traffic, and then they're going to stop him and bring him down right at the line of scrimmage. So it'll bring up a 3rd down here for Dowling, but we'll go to the 4th quarter, though.
Tackled by Cole Rondall, number 44.
And
number 95.
we will go to the 4th quarter. Waukee trailing, but a chance here to hold and maybe get the ball back when they've had it here in the 3rd quarter. It's been big strikes. We'll see if they can do it again. We'll take a break and be back with the 4th quarter after this on CISN.TV.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Here at Dowling, here at Waukee, Dowling with the ball. It'll be 3rd and 10 at the 23 as we start the 4th quarter. A couple of big strike plays by Waukee. Dowling has matched one of them, but Joe, another stop here, and it could make it interesting for Waukee.
Yeah, well, it looks like Dowling also has some of their backup players in the game here for offense. It could get a little sloppy. That's something they don't want to see. They don't want to give Waukee any more points.
10 yards to go.
So 3rd and 10 at the 23. Zach Prey in at quarterback, dropping back, blitzes on, and he gets it out, and they're going to stop him. Good reaction there. He gets it to Tegan Johnson, but you can see Waukee coming with everything there, Laura, trying to get the stop.
You could see him coming from the corners. They were bringing everybody and trying to put the pressure on, and even though they completed the little screen pass, they were able to hold them.
So now, I mean, a touchdown here cuts the lead in half, and you still feeling okay if you're Dowling, but you got to think maybe the momentum might switch just a little bit. And here's the snap, the rugby run over to the right side. A good high kick forces the fair catch signal. Then it bounces and takes a pretty good Waukee bounce. So, and there's a flag down.
By Quentin Willmaker, number 9. Right around the 35
or a player down.
Waukee, or the Warriors will take over. 1st and 10.
Man, that yellow spot is driving me nuts. I look out there every time and think there's a penalty, but
Looks like we have a player down. Hard to see their numbers on their jersey.
Yeah, that contrast is not real great. That's number 5, which is Aaron Smith, the sophomore for Waukee. Waukee takes over 1st and 10 at their own 35 with 11:04 to play here, trailing 42-14. Oh, this one is tipped high and, oh man, intercepted. 2 Dowling defenders battling for it up the sideline. And man, the worst thing could have happened there, the tip pass and picked off by Michael Keogh.
Yep, and him and his brother Nick and Jack have been big there in the middle. Jack, the older brother, Nick, playing in his first varsity game for Dowling. They both come up big on the defense.
And just absolutely the worst thing could happen for Waukee, and then a face mask on the return that compounds it.
And again, if you look last year, Mitch Randall had 2 interceptions all year long. Tonight he's got 2 also, but that's just airing it out against a team like Dowling.
Well, man, and he strong-armed that down there. When it was deflected, it went way up high, and the 2 defensive backs were almost going to fair catch the thing the way it popped up there. But
Well, I think they, again, were looking for the slant route, wanted to try to get that quick hit
yeah,
going across the middle, and I think you said it was Keogh that got his hands up and knocked it up in the air.
Waters now back in at quarterback for the Maroons. He hands it off, looking for room, and scoots through the hole. Picks up good yardage. Tegan Johnson.
The carry for the Maroons. Simon Lofstad made the tackle, number 15.
Well, 2 interceptions and 3 fumbles tonight for Waukee. And broken record, but we said it all night. The Waukee defense has to step up, and they're back on the field. Handoff Johnson again, and he plows through them.
Tegan Johnson on the carry again, number 31.
This is kind of good for Tegan Johnson, a guy obviously 32 carries last year to Jason Murray's 244 carries.
Yeah,
it's nice to get him for Dowling and running in time where he can, you know, have these strong runs and meaningful contact, because Waukee certainly isn't going home, and they're certainly still giving it all.
And Johnson, good north-south running there too. He'll get it again, and that time gets pounded in the backfield.
Yeah, but that time the defense just said, you know, we're not even worried about the pass anymore. You guys have run it 4 times in a row on us.
Nick Barretto, the tackle.
And
they had a continuous clock, and then that last score put it back to regular clock, so that they score again here and run it back up to continuous clock. And the thing is, Dowling has been able to get a lot of their players in here.
Jack Lyman coming in at wide receiver down the bottom of the screen. Waters back to pass, swings it out, and almost dangerous hanging out there.
Intended for number 24.
Intended for Chase Hauschild.
It's incomplete.
Brings up 3rd and 11.
Pass was tipped by Alex Wiggins, number 99.
And 3rd and 11. The 23 for Dowling.
3rd and 11.
2 receivers up the top. One here down to the right side with the tight end. Slot comes across, fakes the handoff, and Waters tried to back up through the hole, does for a ways, but he's going to be short. And I got a feeling if they kick that long field goal before, they might kick this one unless they just, well, yeah, they're going to do that, I think.
4th down Maroons.
Because they were looking at a 53-yarder the other way, and they fumbled the snap, but now they'll come in and look at the field goal here. That would be a 41-yarder. No good, wide left.
Just wide to the left on the kick. No good.
So Waukee will take over again.
Look for Waukee to be in a hurry-up type of offense, not necessarily the 2-minute offense, but they're going to try to push it a little bit more so they can get down the field and score quickly.
Yeah, I think they're going to come out throwing despite the interceptions. You know, they might as well have a time to work some plays in, see how they work on a live setting.
Here's Randall. And hands it off. Just like you said he would, Joe.
Yeah, well, you got to go deep to score here.
Yeah.
Well, the ball obviously hasn't been working.
Yeah, that one was to throw him off, right? And then set him up with the run. And so they get no gain there
2nd and just under 10.
on the handoff. And fake the handoff. Randall keeps it, and he's met in the backfield and just bowled over. So Dowling not even thinking about
Jackson
giving up on the run there.
Jackson Filer, the 6'3", 185-pound D end there, just not fooled by the handoff. And when you got a backup of that size, he's actually bigger than the starter, just younger. And that's how they make him at Dowling, you know, they're just the next man up.
And trying to get to the outside, and nothing doing there.
And that was Filer again disrupting the running back in the backfield.
Espelin.
Number 30 for the Maroons.
Now we're late enough in the game, I think I can say this. I see the full moon up there. That means there's no clouds out, and I don't think so. We're going to avoid that rain. It must have got off to the east that they talked about, which is a good thing.
Little surprised that Waukee ran 3 times in that series. I know you got to get it out of your ends, you know, deep in your own territory, but the passing game was working well for them, even though in spite of the interception.
Yeah, it seemed
come
like
back with one running play and then go back to the passing game.
Yeah, it seemed like they were having success with that, but now they get a guy in late, Tanner Ellis, and
again, yeah, Dowling is close to that.
But no, there's a fumble by Dowling, but they get it back.
Fumble on the play.
And number 4 jumps on it, Zach Walters.
Recovered by number 7, Connor Jackman.
Was that Jackman? Was it 7 or 4? Oh, it was 7, I guess.
Ball's marked at the Waukee 35-yard line. It'll be first.
Well, that's been the bugaboo of Waukee, those fumbles, Joe, on the kicks and the punts. And here Dowling gets it, but they get it back, and it seems like everything, you know, when it's going, everything falls your way, it seems like.
Dowling is a tough opponent to face in your first game of the season because if you get going slow at all, you get down 21 points. And we saw that by the time Waukee was able to wake up on offense, they were already down in a big hole.
Here's a handoff up the middle.
24, Chase Hauschild on the carry.
Still 6-0 and going to the fourth quarter, the battle for Ankeny.
Gain of 2.
And I believe I saw on the ticker Valley had ballooned it up to a 19-7 lead over Southeast Cole.
So Centennial leading in that one. Mr. Yeager over there calling the game. And that's one of the things, we're adding another feed with Ankeny this year on CISN.TV.
Cole Spikesma made the tackle, number 41.
That'll bring up 3rd and 5 at the 30 for Dowling.
New quarterback in now, the third quarterback for Dowling. Looks like Hank Himrich is going to get a little playing time here in the last 5 minutes.
5'10", 170-pound junior. And hands it off.
Yep, and this is still the time when these Dowling coaches are, you know, if you look at the roster with not that much experience, this is still big important for these guys to get out there and play hard and show that they can give a chance to actually get playing time in the game.
And I think that was Chase Hallschild, the running back there. And under 5 minutes to play, and Himrich comes out. Down the line, he'll keep it himself and cuts it up. And he's going to get the first down. Yeah.
19, Dominic Morasso on the carry.
So it'll be first down.
Jacob Martin, number 32.
Oh, a different quarterback in. Dominic Morasco came in on us. So now fourth quarterback to play. But that's good. Let everybody get some playing time. And handoff. Still busting through there is Emong Dang. Or no, excuse me, Chance Hallschild.
Tackled by Seifred, number 20.
Well, you could kind of feel it there once these guys who are maybe not get as much playing time as usual get an opening. You know, they're running forever, trying to score, trying to get some stats on the scoreboard for the year.
Yeah, you get off the bench, you get a chance, you see a hole, and you see the end zone, you're running hard for it. And there's a handoff again, and this time he's mad at the line.
Number 24.
Under 4 minutes to play.
Spikesma, the tackler, number 41.
Well, they're alternating quarterbacks just to get them some extra reps out there. And
I think what we were talking about, I think it's still open competition, too, for the backup job also. Or
the backup to the two starters.
Well,
so,
yeah.
And
you never know with injuries. It's a long season. They, if they're looking to switch positions, that leaves any position open.
Down the line, trying to turn it up, is Dominic Morasco. He's a junior.
It's kind of safe to say the only spot at Dowling that has been concrete is running back there with Murray. He doesn't really have anything to worry about or any carries to split. He, with 240 carries by himself last year.
Yeah.
No need to wear him out here in the first ball game.
Yeah.
If you get the extended lead, go ahead and put him on the sideline because you're going to need him a lot during the rest of the season.
There's a handoff spinning toward the end zone, and stopped short is Chase Hallschild.
And for Waukee, we were impressed with what they were doing on offense. They kind of got away from what they were having success at there, trying to run to the edges, and from the first quarter on, that hasn't been there. There's a lot of good takeaways, but it is tough when you play the 5-time state champion in your opening game.
And down the line, he'll run it in is the Hank Himrich who comes in.
Quarterback number 12, Hank Himrich.
1 yard run.
On the touchdown run.
For Dowling here in the fourth quarter. 2:16 to play. And really, Waukee's defense didn't play that poorly.
given the position they were in and the amount of time they were on the field, Laura.
No, I thought they did a nice job, and they did what they were supposed to do, but they got hurt by penalties. They got hurt
Turnovers.
by field position. They
Yeah.
got hurt by turnovers.
And here's the extra point. Snap is low, but handled. And it's good. No, it's no good? Okay, no good. So,
Score Dowling Catholic 48, Waukee 14.
so the only blemish there offensively on Dowling, 48-14. And we'll just keep it right here. And somewhere in here I got a schedule on yeah, so Waukee will face Southeast Polk next week. Dowling goes to Valley in that annual matchup, and that's always a good one, and we talked about it. Valley's one of the few teams that's been able to beat Dowling in this championship run here, and talk about rivalries, that's one of the better ones we have in the state.
That is probably, over the years, has grown to be one of the best rivalries here in the metro area, and I think it's going to be another good matchup next weekend.
Looks like Centennial's extended that lead to 13-0 over Ankeny. Lincoln over East 27-20. Another score. And
Johnston is handling Urbandale. They're the number 2 ranked team in the state, and they're handling Urbandale quite easily.
They were kind of snuck up and won that first game last year on a last-second play, and then went on that run. They opened the new stadium and went undefeated in that new stadium until they almost beat Dowling. That was a late Dowling score in that playoff game that kept Dowling alive. I think it was ended up 13-7 or something like that. So, and then Johnston, this year, though, they come out with the number 2 ranking and the target on them, so we'll see how they handle that. But a lot of experience on that Johnston team over there.
There is, and a lot of really strong football teams centrally here in the state of Iowa. You know, there's always a good presence of football powers over on the eastern side of the state as well.
And Johnston is where we'll be next week on CISN.TV as they take on Ankeny, and new quarterback in there for Waukee is number. No, that isn't. I thought it's still Mitch Randall.
2nd and 10.
Right? Yeah, still number 4. I thought it was a different number. Those numbers are hard to see but Mitch Randall's still in there with 2:08 to play. And here's Randall. Hands it off. Breaks free up across the 40 for the first down. Ethan Okudua on the run. And
tackle made by Theo Davis, number 57.
Talk about the district race. This, of course, is a non-district game with the districts this year. In District 6, it's Waukee is in that one with Johnston, Mason City, Ottumwa, Indianola, and Des Moines East. As Randall back to pass, throws it out to the left side, almost intercepted. And for Dowling, they're in District 1 with Des Moines Hoover, Des Moines Lincoln, Ankeny, Sioux City East, and Sioux City North.
2nd and 10.
And the way it works this year, the district champions get the automatic playoff bid, and then there's a rating system based on how well your opponent did, how many wins you have, that will decide the next playoff spots. And this a quick out pass and up to the 50.
Randall's pass is complete to Sam Odell, number
Sam
16.
Odell. I gotta like Odell and Eaton, Joe. They've showed some things there at the receiver spot for Randall. I think they're going to catch a lot of balls this season for him.
Yeah, both have nice height, both have nice speed. We saw Eaton's speed breaking away from the whole defense.
And Odell made a couple nice catches too, so there's some weapons there.
Dropping back, looking, now under pressure, rolling out of it, and running to the sideline.
Quarterback Mitch Randall scrambles.
Stop the clock with 1:02 to play.
It looks like he might have picked up a first down as well. Yeah, no, they're going to say went out just shy of the marker. And now they move the sticks.
Gain of 2, and that's enough for a Waukee. First down.
Tell you what, Jim Dewey talked about it. A big crowd here tonight. A lot of people still here, but a lot of Dowling people, a lot of Waukee fans here too. So nice to see in the first opening week of high school football.
It really is, and you heard him say too.
Oh, what a go! He couldn't bring it in. Almost an acrobatic catch. Jalen Martinez, but couldn't quite bring it in.
What a great effort by Martinez, and would have been a big catch. Put him in position to maybe get one more score. But as far as this crowd, they were still standing in line even when the game started, and so that tells you that there's a lot of school spirit for both of these schools.
2nd and 10.
And Waukee looking, I think 2021, they're looking at another school, another high school opening up. There's a handoff inside. And spinning around, and we're always amazed. We drive up the street. There's new businesses popping up and houses and everything. Everything is just out pops up like dandelions out here. The growth in Waukee, doesn't it?
It does. I drove through here a couple weeks ago, and there were so many businesses that I hadn't been out here for a while, and I thought, wow, where did that one pop up, and when did it pop up?
Here's the snap, rolling, looking, now lobs it toward the end zone, and knocked away at the last second.
Randall's pass intended for Zach Eaton, number 18.
Well, again here, it's just the one play after another, then they convert the 4th down, and they're using this last drive as, I guess, their target practice for next game.
Looked like Eaton. That was high. Didn't quite judge that well, did he?
Yeah, you can tell Randall wants to get one more of those long bombs before the game is over.
Well, he's a competitor. We know he wants to, 21-48 looks a little better, but either way, now there's a quick out pass, cutting back inside and up for the first down. That'll stop the clock with 9.2 to play.
Oh, there they go again.
And imagine they'll get set up and one more heave to the end zone as the clock gets started. Well, they probably aren't going to get a play off now as they start the clock right away. And that will do it. 48-14. Dowling wins the season opener here against Waukee. We'll take a break. We'll come back and run down the scoring, get some final thoughts here from the crew, and wrap it up here on CISN.TV.
Truck Month at Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. Up to $10,000 off select new 18 Silverado 1500s. Includes the LTZs and High Countries. New 18 Silverado Double Cab LT. $275 per month. Only $19.99 to its signing. Truck Month in Waukee. New 18 Equinox LT. $229 per month. Only $19.99 to its signing. New 18 Cruise. $179 per month. Only $19.99 to its signing. Plus 20% off new Spark, Sonic, and Impala through the end of the month. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Here at Waukee, Dar Danielson, Joe Danielson with you. And let's run down the scoring. Dowling got on the board first, 7:06 to play, a 1-yard Murray run. It was 7-0 with the extra point. Then Jason Murray with 3:33 to play in the first quarter, a 5-yard run, and it was 14-0. In the second quarter, 4:02 to play, it was a pass to Colin Cook from Waters from 3 yards out, and that made it 21-0. Then in the third, Murray another run from 3 yards out, made it 28-0 with the extra point. Then Zach Eaton, the 30-yarder from Randall for Waukee to get on the board, made it 28-7. But Dowling answered a short time later on a 63-yard run by Murray. That was 18 seconds later they answered. 63 yards, Murray takes it one play, and it's 35-7. Then Waters with a run for 7 yards out with 2:38 to play in the third, 42-7. Randall to Eaton, a 77-yard touchdown bomb, made it 42-14. And then Dowling with 2:16 to play. Hemmerich came in at quarterback and runs it in from 1 yard out to 48-14. And Lord Joe, kind of what you'd expect out of Dowling. I guess they found the replacements to get back rolling here. And Waukee, too many mistakes in an opener and too many mistakes against a good team like this to come out on top.
I think everybody knows that Dowling just reloads, and they have the weapons to do it. And we saw 4 different quarterbacks run the offense here tonight as it got late in the game. So they're a well-oiled machine, and I think Waukee lost a lot to graduation. A lot of their players don't have a lot of varsity experience, showed a little bit tonight. A lot of mistakes for them and turnovers, but I think this is a team that's going to grow as the season goes on.
Yeah, I think the Waukee offense looks strong, but the key factor is the Dowling defense came out and was ready to go, and they put them in a hole 28-0 to the point where when Waukee finally did start to get something going, they're already down 4 scores. Because we saw Waukee execute their offense pretty well, but again, like you said, inexperience. It takes a half to maybe get going. And
then what was it, 4 turnovers?
Yeah, and 4 turnovers, 1 turnover in the red zone, another one fumbling on the goal line, and another one of those on special teams. And special teams tonight here was a little shaky also with kind of those squib kicks, muffed punts, and almost blocked punts also, poor punt coverage. But those are things that are heading into the game too, especially now with a matchup with Southeast Polk that Waukee's going to have to tighten up.
And a Southeast Polk team that was leading Valley but then fell behind. And Scott Carlson said in the pregame, we're young and we're going to know where we're at and we're going to know it's a good team. But if you're going to play a game like this, playing a team like this, I think early on in the season is good because there is a lot of things to learn and a lot of things not in the district games yet. So, this isn't a great win or great loss, but, it's something to learn from.
They will definitely learn from it, and I'm sure they will go back and look at the film and see what needs to be improved, what they need to work on in the coming weeks. And you're right. I mean, it's one of those games where it's not in district play. You can put it behind you, learn from it, move on, and then set yourself up for the rest of the season.
All right, the final here is Dowling 48-14 over Waukee. We're at Johnston next Friday night. Johnston hosting Ankeny here on CISN.TV, and also check for our other slate of games on our website at CISN.TV. For Laura Leonard and Joe Danielson, I'm Dar Danielson, wrapping it up here on CISN.TV.
It takes more than a great price and great selection to continue to grow every year. We believe the reason is our core values. Hard work, we work hard for you. Integrity, it's not optional, it's required. We build trusting relationships and don't run when the problems arise. We're always improving the customer experience. It's been the Schottenkirk way for over 50 years. Schottenkirk Chevrolet, Waukee, and the all-new Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola.
Mr. Hometown Clothing Store, the one that had it all, everything to get the work done, all in one place. G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health. Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. It's kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.